everyone, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and here we are looking at the Nokia Lumia 1520, one of Nokia's attempts at the phablet market. So I'm going to do just a quick unboxing video for you before we progress and do our full review. So the units on top, just going to come back to that in just a second. Also in the box, and on the first layer, if you like, is a little tool for removing the SIM card tray. And underneath that we have some documentation, so we have a getting started guide and warranty card in there. We then have a USB to micro USB sync charge cable, a Nokia charger with a USB connector on the side, and a pop-up earthing pin for a UK 3-pin plug. And then finally we have a wired headset. So we have in-ear style headphones, which look quite nice, and a 4-pole 3.5mm jack, and I'm assuming around here somewhere, let's just move that out, there we go, we have a inline microphone with indeed a push button. And also in the package there we've got different size rubber earbuds for different size ears. So that's all we have in the box. You'll notice that the box has been pre-opened, and as has the phone, because obviously this is a review unit and has quite likely been out to others. Our review unit actually incidentally come from the guys over at Clove Technology. That's at clove.co.uk. So thanks to them for providing our review unit. So let's start at the beginning and on the front, as we normally do. So we have a 6-inch display, and it is full HD, so 1080 by 1920 pixels, really quite large. Those that are into the large devices such as this, and obviously the Note do spring to mind, will probably enjoy these extremely large displays, and they are quite impressive indeed. So as I say, this is a full HD 1080 by 1920 pixels. It is an IPS LCD display as well, so we should enjoy some pretty decent display quality there as well. We have a forward facing camera as well, which is a 1.2 megapixel forward facer, and obviously the loudspeaker at the top there as well. Capacitive touch buttons underneath, back, Windows button and a search button. So looking around the outside, so on this side we have two covers, so let me just find that small tool that came in the box, and let's pop these both open. So one on the top, which is, looks like that's the, let's eject them both at the same time, then we can see. So one of them, there we go, so the bottom one there is the SIM card tray, like so, and the other one is the micro SDHC memory card tray, and in doing so I've also managed to catch the power button, but there we go. So those are the two trays on the top there. I think you can kind of guess, you know, love it or hate it, the fact that you're going to have to use the tool to eject a micro SD card, but it does support micro SD up to 64 gig, so that's kind of cool. On the bottom, really the only thing you're going to really see on the bottom is the micro USB connector, and just on that lip there, just under the screen, if I can angle that just right, is the microphone for when obviously you're using it as a phone. Looking around to the other side, we have a couple of buttons. So we have what looks probably to be a camera button on the bottom. We then have, I think that's the power button that I caught there in the middle, and then the up and down volume control that you can see also there. Not really the easiest thing to perhaps pick out on the camera here, despite all the light that we've got, but there we go. On the top we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, so we can use obviously the supplied wired headset, or indeed obviously any standard 3.5mm jacked headphones. So on the back we have a 20 megapixel camera, which is enjoying the Carl Zeiss optics there as well. And we've seen this on some of the other Nokia devices, so we know it to be a very decent camera anyway, but it's the 20 megapixel unit, and then a dual flash there as well. You'll notice also there are a couple of holes there, which are presumably loudspeakers. Internally we do have a quite large battery, which is non-user removable, and it's a 3,400 milliamp hour battery, as I say, which is unfortunately not user removable. But there we go. So let me just run down the rest of the specification, which I normally do while it's powering up, but indeed it's already powering up. So 4G device, supporting pretty much all of the standards that you come to expect on both 2G, 3G and 4G. It's a nano SIM, incidentally, not a micro SIM, which we've previously only seen, I think, up until the point this Nokia was released. I think that was only seen on the iPhone 5s and 5S. Could be wrong, but I think that I think these are it's one of the few devices to have the nano SIM just at the moment as well. Dimensions, well, it's pretty large, 162 millimeters top to bottom, and then we are 85.5 millimeters wide, and in terms of thickness we are 8.7 millimeters thick. Pretty weighty as well. Again, it is a large device. It's 209 grams, pretty weighty. And indeed, we obviously have the black version here, but there are other colours available. Certainly, a sort of reddish orange. There is obviously the yellow as well, which has become quite common and quite popular, really, on the Nokia devices. Obviously, several other devices coming in that bright yellow, and also a silver. But black's quite smart. In terms of the rest of the spec, let me run down. We've obviously mentioned the IPS LCD display being full HD, 6-inch. Internally we have 16 gig of storage, with also capacity you could add to that with a 64 gig micro SDHC memory card. We also have 2 gig of RAM, and the processor is a 2.2 gigahertz quad core. We're running Windows Phone 8 Black. And then we haven't mentioned the cameras already, but we're just going to recap the cameras. 1.2 on the front, 20 megapixel on the back, and they do support obviously full HD video recording as well. There's an FM radio, there's also Wi-Fi, as you come to expect. This time we are supporting AB and G and N standards, and also the newer AC standard as well, so a gigabit, basically gigabit Wi-Fi as well. We also have Bluetooth 4 with A2DP, NFC, and Wi-Fi with GLONASS support. I think that pretty much covers it, so let's go and close that. And let's just pop into Get Started. English. I don't have a SIM, accept terms of use, user recommended settings, accept all of this stuff. And we'll connect to Wi-Fi. There we are, so we're connected to Wi-Fi. I'm not going to sign in just for the moment on here. I'm not going to sign in to sign in later, sorry, there we go. Not going to sign in just for the moment. And I just want to kind of get through the setup process as quickly as possible. It does take quite a little while with Windows Phone to start up initially, and obviously bear in mind that is just the initial startup. This doesn't happen every time you turn a phone on or anything like that. There is just this initial, configuration, setting up, and getting everything ready once you first turn it on, or indeed after a hard reset. Okay, I skipped a couple of minutes out in the middle of the video there because obviously you didn't really need to see all of the setup process there, which takes just a couple of minutes there, so I'll just kind of skip through the rest of these bits here and get to, there we go. So anybody that's seen Windows Phone before will obviously immediately recognize the display with the live tiles. One thing that is something a little bit different on this larger display is the additional row of tiles. So we kind of normally have, just 2 rows there on the smaller phones, and then we have this third row on this larger display, which is obviously capitalizing on the fact that we do have the full HD display as well. So stuff in here you're going to probably recognize anyway. Obviously you've got the phone dialer at the top, which is obviously warning me that we don't have a SIM card installed, but we have a nice large dialer for anybody that's perhaps even find a bit short-sighted or not as visually capable, might find that useful. We've got the people there, and then we do have the search for contacts there at the bottom as well. You'll notice that the buttons at the bottom do illuminate, capacitive buttons at the bottom do illuminate as necessary. We've got the calendar there, as you can see, just going through. We've got the Nokia ProCam, which I will just bring up, which tells us all about getting started and tagging our locations and all that kind of stuff. So geotagging is supported. I'm just going to bring the box in because all I've got that's of any interest in the room. So touch to focus. You'll notice that maybe you'll notice the flicker, display did flicker because the LEDs actually did fire up at the bottom in order to aid focusing. We've got auto flash, auto white balance, auto focus, auto bracketing, I think that is, auto ISO, auto scene, and auto what's that, auto balance. Oh, that's yeah, auto exposure. In the corner we can switch to some of the stills that are already on there, and they are just sample images really at the end of the day. So they're in place. So if you just take a quick shot and a quick snap, it's extremely quick to respond actually to a photo. Little focus time there, but not bad at all. And we can go and take a look at that. Not perfect by any means, a little noisy. Then again, I'm kind of fidgeting around actually taking the pictures as well, so it's not exactly the... To get to the next ones. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway. You can reframe, delete, and so on. We can obviously shoot video. Switch back to still. And then there's a settings menu here. Use the front camera if we want to. And use the main camera. There's a shutter delay. And a few other bits and pieces on there. But let's take a look at that one again. So you can make that out. There's kind of quite a bit of noise on those images. Again, I know I moan about this every time, and I am a stuck record, but the amount of compression on these photos I think is way over the top. The JPEG compression that these images have been subjected to is way too much. Way too much. We're losing some of the detail out of there, and we've got some noisy edges, as you can see. All the phone manufacturers seem to do it. I wish there was a setting to change the compression ratios. But there we go. We'll not moan about that anymore. So that was the little look at the camera. Obviously the Camera Pro. We've got the office stuff there as well. We've got the Creative Studio. We've got Nokia Storyteller for doing photos. We've got app highlights. We've got the game stuff in there as well, so you can do your Xbox connections and your games that you've really come to expect are all in there as well. That's straightforward. We've got your local scout and the kids corner. Then we can go into the full menu to have a look at all the settings in here as well, and settings here that we'll find for turning on your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi configuration, driving mode, the kids corner, the brightness. Interesting. Let's have a look at the brightness. Turn to high brightness, so that's pretty bright. Let's leave it on there for the rest of the video. We're setting up our Nokia accounts and all that kind of stuff, the glance configurations and so on. You've got the store, photos, you've got your OneNote and your Nokia stuff in there as well. You've got the Here Drive Plus, being weather and so on. All pretty straightforward stuff that you come to pretty much expect to see. Use the recommended settings. We'll just take a quick look at the web browser by heading over to our site. Being lazy and doing it as a Google search, or Bing search I should say actually. There we go, so page loads pretty quickly. Obviously using Wi-Fi and broadband connection, and You can scroll through. Wait for that to finish loading. It's taking a little bit of time. There we go, it has finished. So one thing sort of is perhaps a little unusual, despite being a 1920 display. It is actually not capitalising on that really, because it's actually loading the page in single column view in a responsive design, rather than using a desktop view. And the configuration there, we can probably change that in the settings anyway. Desktop version. Let's refresh to see that. No. No, it's not doing it. Anyway, so the browser isn't automatically switching to capitalise on the full width of the screen, which is interesting. I think that's probably a limitation of Internet Explorer. There we go, so let's come back out of there. What else do we have? Let's take a quick look at here, maps. Let's just see if that's managed to pick up the location. Not bad, not bad. Fairly accurate. It's probably using the Wi-Fi actually to get a proper location. It's picking up nevertheless. And being have a nice high resolution display, does a reasonably good job. There we go. So there we go, that's a reasonably quick look at the Nokia Lumia 1520. We will have a review for you up over the next, well, probably a couple of weeks for us to really get this up after we've played around with it and used it as a daily phone to really kind of get used to it and see what the benefits and pitfalls are of you know, such a large phone running Windows 8, Windows Phone 8, and really what we think of it. Our thanks to the guys over at Clove Technology for sending over our review device. If you want to check them out and indeed go ahead and pick one of these up, because they do have them in stock, head over to Clove Technology at clove.co.uk. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at TracyandMatt, TracyandMatt, or facebook.com/tracyandmatt.co.uk. If you want to find me on Google+, I am plus Matt Davis 1, MattDavis and the number 1, and indeed the main page for the whole site is plus Leod, Leodde, which indeed is the same as our YouTube channel name. And I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on tracyandmatt.co.uk, but for now, thanks for watching.